All right, so rationalizing the denominator basically is how we divide with radicals. So let's just take a problem. So if you had rad 2 divided by rad 3, so when we're simplifying radicals by division, you cannot have a radical in the denominator. So we rationalize it, which means we make it a rational number. And you do that simply by multiplying the numerator and denominator by whatever's in the denominator, because then it makes it a perfect square. So I'm going to multiply my numerator and denominator by rad 3, because when you multiply 3 times 3, you get 9, and the square root of 9 is 3, which is how we rationalize the denominator. Okay, that means make it a rational number. Okay, because right now it's considered an irrational number. And then you just go ahead and multiply your top. 2 times 3 is 6. And that's your final answer for that one. You cannot simplify that any further, because since this 6 is under the radical, you cannot divide 6 and 3. Okay, let's take another one. Let's take 18. So you can definitely multiply by 18, rad 18, just to make this a rational number, or you can actually simplify 18 first. Okay, really the choice is yours. Since you have calculators, it's not a big deal. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do rad 18. Like I said, since you have calculators, it doesn't matter if the numbers are big or small or whatever. So whenever you multiply a radical times itself, you really just end up with what's under the radical. Okay, 18. It just makes it a perfect square. And so at the top, since this number is outside of the radical, I'm going to have 20 rad 18. But 18 is not in simplest form because it has a perfect factor of 9 in it. So obviously you're now going to simplify the 18, take out 9. And I'll just go ahead and break it down first to 9 times 2 so you can see all the steps. So now when I take the square root of 9 out, okay, what is the square root of 9? 3. So what is 20 times 3? So 60 rad 2 over 18. Now you can treat the numbers on the outside just as if you would a fraction. So you would obviously simplify 60 and 18. So what's the largest number that can go into both? 6, all right. So 6 goes into 60 how many times? 10. 6 goes into 18. 3. And then that will be your final answer. Okay, any questions so far? All right, let's take another one. Okay, we'll just go back to our basic question. So we'll rationalize the denominator by multiply the numerator denominator by rad 7. So that ends up with the square root of 49, which is obviously 7. And then you have 2 rad 7 here. Okay, you cannot simplify those 7s because one is under the radical and one is not. Okay, we'll do one more. All right, so let's take a look. So we have 3 rad 8 at the bottom. So let's go ahead and multiply by rad 8. So when I multiply by rad 8, obviously this is just going to give me 8 because the square root of 64 is 8. There's a 3 here. So what is 8 times 3? Okay, so that's going to give me 24 here at the bottom. And then we multiply 2 radicands together, which will also give me rad 24. And how do I simplify rad 24? What are the perfect factors? 4 and 6. Okay, and then take the square root of 4 out, which is 2. Okay, and can I go any further? Yes, I can reduce to 2 on the 24. So what does that reduce to? Rad 6 over 12. Okay. You don't put 1 rad 6. Okay, if it's a 1, you just leave it. You don't write it, just like we don't write the coefficient 1. All right. All right, so I'm going to give you a worksheet to complete. Very similar types of problems.